Hello and welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I'm Andrew.
Normally we have a pre-show. Didn't even think about it. Oh well, it's fine. We're doing fine. We're just
Yep.
gonna have a podcast today.
A little bit of an interesting pre-show.
Yeah, it's fine. Um, I do still need to send the stream tweet because I closed Firefox so that hopefully the lag will be better. So I'll do that from my phone. But while I do that, Pat is not going to be with us tonight. He is attempting to get something that he might talk about next week and could not be here for it tonight because of that. Hey, Nathan, how's it going? So expect to hear an update from him. But we have some stuff to talk about. There's not a lot of news, but the news that is here, I feel like we'll probably spend a little bit of time on. Some of it we're going to have to. But with all that said, I guess we could just get started. Andrew, by the way, if you will type something in the YouTube chat, I will mod you. I'm assuming you're no longer modded because Pat wasn't modded.
But then if I do that, people will know who I am.
That's a good point. You don't have to be modded if you don't want to.
I want the power.
Okay.
Hold on.
While I attempt to get this stream tweet though, Andrew, what's your week been like?
We're gonna start weeks before you even get the tweet out.
I mean, you're not wrong. Let me reading with comments.
I mean, come on, dude. That's just disrespectful.
You're right. I'm sorry. Retweet's been sent. Give it a couple minutes, and we'll see if it helps at all. So mulling over potential builds for your main unit in GB3 if when you finally obtain it, man, there's so much good that can be done in GB3. Like, I made another unit after the stream yesterday. Not after yesterday's stream, Saturday. After the stream Saturday. And man, it was something. I love that game. Quite a bit. Also, don't forget, on YouTube side, you now have chat command. You can now access the chat commands on YouTube side.
Ooh.
Like, for instance, if you wanted to know how to get into the Gundam Game Day Discord, ba-boom! Gundam Game Day Discord. Exclamation mark Discord. So, lots of options. The once your build products will be once said manu's done. Okay, hit me up. Hit me with it. Hopefully those don't keep duplicating and keep sending over and over like it looks like they are, but we'll be fine, I'm sure. It'll be all right. I think we're getting some feedback from one of these browser windows. See what I can do there. YouTube side is flagging. Oh, guest bit? Nice. That's a good call. See what I can do to improve that. Andrew, I'm going to have to turn you down a little bit, I think.
Why?
There's some noise behind you coming through loud and clear. Do that real quick.
Dude, what is wrong with my mic? I've never had this problem.
I don't know.
The problems tonight.
I don't know.
Just pull the trigger.
I bumped you down a little bit, so
pull it.
That should be better now. But yeah, I think the retweet's been sent for a little while. We can probably roll into weeks. Andrew, what's your week been like?
So let me tell you something. I was playing some games
this
week. It's like, okay, that's fine. I play games every week. It's not a big deal, playing some WoW, playing some Ark, whatever. And then my life was changed.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Because Thursday, I told you and Pat that, you know what, I'm going to pass on Judgment.
Yeah.
Y'all are excited for Judgment. I was excited for it, but there's too many games, Mario Maker and Crash Team Racing and Bloodstained. I'm going to have to pass on Judgment.
Yeah.
Then I kept reading the reviews, and they were saying, this is the perfect entry to get someone into the Yakuza world.
It absolutely is.
And I even read quite a few reviews that said this is the best game in that world.
I don't know about that one so far.
I don't know.
But
It's pretty good from where I'm at.
it's very
But
solid.
so I pre-ordered it. It's supposed to come out tomorrow, actually. But if you
Yes.
pre-order it, you get it on Friday, well, 11 p.m. Thursday.
Thankfully, embargo's
So
up too, so we can talk about it.
I've been playing it. That can't
Yeah,
hold me
no,
back.
that's what I'm saying. We
I'm
didn't
not
sign
embargoed.
anything.
I've been playing it.
No NDAs were signed.
Yeah. So on Thursday night I played it, and slowly, this is the story of my weekend. Because slowly, I fell into the world of Yakuza.
Kamurocho.
Kamurocho. Yes. Completely consumed by it. I don't remember the last time I've played a game.
How well do you
and
know
been
those streets already?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And I'll know like, Club Tinder's right here. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm
So
gonna go do this.
the Best Friends cast, when they were still doing their podcast together, the Super Best Friends, one of their guys plays, well, almost all of them played the games, but one of their guys played all of them and went to Japan and literally, no joke, was walking through Kabukicho, which is what Kamurocho is based on, and it's 1-1 almost. Like the names are different, right? But at one point, one of the people with him was like, "Yeah, we should see if maybe there's a little coffee shop down this way." And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's just down this side hall down here, just down this alley."
That's awesome. So
Uh,
yeah, I slowly became more and more enthralled with this game.
Yep.
To where now, I mean, like I said, usually single player games, especially if they're not on PC, are hard for me to keep playing because I want to be on my PC. I want to sit in my office chair and be on my PC.
Yeah.
I have done nothing this weekend, but outside of real world things I had to do.
Yeah.
About 15 hours in, and everything about this game is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
From the main story to the side stories to the combat. Okay, so my mind was blown pretty early on.
Yeah.
Because when you're running on the streets, people from certain gangs will try to attack you.
Yeah.
So they attacked me, and I was using the crane stance, so for crowd control.
Yeah.
And I kicked the guy in the face, and he flew through a shop window.
Yes.
And I had like a split second where I was like, "Wait, what the hell?"
Because this is an actual world and not just encounters.
I can break stuff.
Yep.
So I casually walked in there, picked up a chair from the table, and did an EX move on a guy where I just bashed in the face with a chair over and over again.
Yep.
And now I realize why there's a thing you can buy, a ability you can buy that says you can still buy stuff.
I got that upgrade as soon as I saw it.
After you break them, you can still buy stuff. I was like, I want that because I don't want to be kicked out of stores. The game. So the stories are so good when they're being serious, and they're still so good when they're just being completely off the wall hilarious.
Yep.
Like there's some cases you get early on, like some side cases that are hysterical.
See, I'm not even that far in this one yet, but I know they will be because I played the rest of the series.
See, that's the thing. A lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about, I feel like, is stuff that's already in the Yakuza games.
Yeah.
But to me, it's all brand new. So I'm just taking it all in. So,
what do you think about the characters when they show up? Getting a stylish, like, cut in of this is their name, this is their title.
This is what they do. Yeah, this is their title. It's like a movie. It's like
a crime drama.
Every time I meet someone who's important, who's new, it's like introducing someone at the beginning of a movie. Like a crime drama, like you said. It's awesome.
Yep.
It's like, it's so everything about this game. This game is just cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun. It's funny. It's just cool. Yagami is cool.
I like Yagami quite a bit. Yeah,
He's a cool guy.
he's no Kiryu. I'll
Uh,
be honest. That's one of my complaints is that I've gotten real, and I have to get used to it anyway, because 6 is the last game in Kiryu's story, right? So I got to get used to it anyway, because I can't play as
Yeah.
Kiryu in 7. But it's weird, because like in all the other games that have multiple protagonists, you still get to play as Kiryu, you know? And it's like, okay, yep, this guy. His moves are different. He's a different person. It's cool. I like him a lot. Where's Kiryu at though?
He's a detective.
Yeah, I think it's really cool getting to be on the other side of the law with the Yakuza series, because like
Yeah.
Kiryu and the rest, they're not criminals per se, but they are Yakuza, you know? And so like Kiryu's not robbing people on the streets, but he's also not on the right side of the police either.
Yeah. Oh, there's some Tojo Clan stuff.
Oh, I've seen the Tojo guys walking around a couple times, but my biggest complaint so far is also a complaint that I feel is stupid for me to have, and it's that there's not more crossover so far. And that's such a thin line to walk, right? The idea of have enough fan service that you get fans that are longtime fans that they're happy, but not making those characters then take over the story, which is what it almost always becomes. So I would prefer just to not have them then than to have the old characters take over the story, you know?
Yeah.
But I do still want to see some of those old characters. And I think I probably
I've
will
met-
later on.
I've met a lot of Yakuza. So,
Yeah.
and some of them are like you can tell are big players.
Yeah.
So they may be from the other games. I think what I read is Judgment takes place 2 years after Yakuza 6.
Yeah. It's the furthest in the timeline so far.
What'd you think about the intro?
I thought that intro was really good.
Yeah.
That was a good surprise take.
How
there.
he becomes a detective?
Yeah. I was really impressed. And I'm actually like super impressed that he's not like he is upset about how everything turned out, but he's not like down in the dumps about it. He's just like,
He's
well,
kind of just he's trying to move on.
yeah, this is my life now. I've got to move forward with it.
Yeah.
I like Yagami a lot, honestly.
There's so much that I want to talk about that some of it is spoilery, so I can't talk about, and I can't form my thoughts straight because
Yeah. Well, we
I,
should.
I have loved everything about this game.
All 3 of us are going to be playing it, so we should do a spoiler cast after we all 3 beat.
We definitely should. I don't know when I'm going to beat it because the more stuff that I'm able to do outside of the main story, the more I just don't touch the main story.
Look, I only played 2 hours of Puyo Puyo Tetris in it today.
For some reason, one of the first things I did when I saw like the big Club Sega in like the middle of town almost, I saw that, I ran in there and I saw like the little UFO,
Yeah.
the crane, and I dumped some money into that. I'm on my first turn, my first try.
Yeah.
I got a plush.
Oh, nice.
Because it was so close to the hole
Yeah.
that I actually went too far behind it. So when I went to grab it, I knocked it into the hole. And that led to me being hooked. I got the baby monkey from Ape Escape.
Oh, I haven't got any of the monkeys yet.
I've got a black cube, which I know what it is now.
How's it going, Artak?
Black cube cat.
Yeah.
Did the other games? I'm assuming they have city reputation. You level up.
Some of them do. Not all of them, but some of them do. Each game has its own individual gimmick, even in the series.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, 0 has retail, where you can buy up property. 1 had, I think actually 1 doesn't really have a gimmick. 1 is kind of just, hey, here's the game. You know, we're learning still.
Yeah, that's the first.
2 is reputation for the Tojo clan.
Okay.
Where, like, you're trying to build up the Tojo clans. 3 is you're trying to rebuild the Good Smile Orphanage. So, like, you're building up points and gathering favors to be able to rebuild the Good Smile Orphanage. 4 is Akiyama is collecting debt money. 5.
Which ones are on PS4? 4 and 5?
4 and 5, yeah.
And then
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 4 is on PS3. 5, 6, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 are on PS4. And 0.
Because I own Yakuza 3 and 4 because they were PlayStation Plus games.
Yeah, there's real good games
So
too.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence of should I. Which by the time I get to that point to play 3 and 4, they probably will have remakes already.
3 will probably have a Kiwami. 4's Kiwami will probably be a good little while still. Because
Yeah.
3's a big game.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm just so obsessed. So the city reputation. You know, you make friends, and
Yeah.
I don't know if is this a new mechanic? Is the friends a new thing?
So it's been done many different ways before, I guess you could say. But friends, the way they're doing it now is new. Like in 6, you could recruit people into a gang.
Okay.
But I've just unlocked friends, and I've got the one the story makes you do, and then I've got the one across the street from that one, and that's as far as I've gotten. So story wise,
Because I will run around town just doing friend events without even touching a side case.
Yeah.
I'll go around, and then as people become your friend, if you level up like their friend meter,
right,
you gain +1 city reputation.
Okay.
The higher city rep you have, the access to more side cases you get. Some side cases are main story
Right.
unlocks, and some of them are city rep. But every character I've met is good, and like I understand their intentions and everything, and who they really are. And then like I became. I'm not going to say any specifics, but I did a case. I end up later on finding a person that I helped in that case in town.
Yep.
They officially become a friend. Later on, I talk to them again. They want me to go talk to someone. I'm trying to keep it very vague. They want me to talk to somebody else who is also my friend and hopefully love interest.
Oh.
But it's just crazy because it's all intertwined. Like people know other people.
Yeah.
Who know other people.
Yeah.
Who you can help out.
Yeah.
And then I said it in the Discord over the weekend, but I feel like this is the perfect open world.
Yeah, they always have been, man.
And that's what I'm excited for because it's big enough since you're only on foot.
Mm-hmm.
It's big enough to where you're not spending forever to get from one point to another.
Yeah.
But it's small enough to where they're small enough and there's enough stuff to do that you can always do something.
Oh yeah.
Like every square inch of that map, you can do something.
There's stuff to do there.
And then you may do something in one point and it unlocks 2 other things.
Yep.
Or it unlocks 2 other things when one of them's only available at night. Like it to me, this is my game of the year.
It's fair. It's
Long
super
shot.
fair.
It was Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
This took Devil May Cry 5. Look, Devil May Cry 5 wasn't killed.
Right. It was murdered.
It was murdered.
And now you're the detective trying to figure out the clues so you can represent the murderer.
And then the game ends with Yagami looking in the mirror, realizing it was me all along. I killed DMC.
I was Dante. Hey, I will say, I don't think so far it's as good as some of the later games in the Yakuza series. But I will also say that I had investment in those for the stories that had been built up. So it's not really fair to compare them. When you're a child playing as Kazuma Kiryu and you get to the point where you are finishing his story, it's not fair to compare anything to that, right?
Yeah.
But
you've had 6 games.
I think it's telling
7.
I think it's telling that being only a very short way into this already, I think it's as good as, say, a 4 or a 5. Yakuza 4 or 5, clarification.
What's the best one?
The best one for me is 4 still.
Okay.
Something about 4. 4 has very little Kiryu in it, but when he shows up, they give him all that gravitas that he deserves, you know? 4 is Akiyama's story, and it's Saijima's story, and those 2 characters are super interesting to me. And then, of course, you know, Kiryu shows up, and he's awesome. I think 5 is, like, right behind it. And then 6, I don't like 6 as much as I like 4 or 5, but I think 6 is probably the better game, you know? So,
Yeah. Also,
the one game you had in the back of my
um,
head when you were a tiny baby. Yep, that was Yakuza 1.
I was reading somewhere that uh, there's supposed to be Yakuza news coming up July 10th or something like
Yeah,
that.
so the rumor going around is that the 2 offshoots are going to get Kiwami'd and get translated to English for the first time. And the 2 offshoots are the samurai ones. The ones where it's Kiryu's ancestor back in like the Edo period, and
What?
he was a police officer back then for the Shinsengumi. Yakuza Kinzan, I think is what they're called. But those games never got translated. And Yakuza games are so, and Judgment is part of the same series, right? In the same world. They're so story heavy that unless it's in a language you can understand, you're not going to get the full enjoyment from it, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been waiting patiently all these years, hoping that's true. So I'm trying not to get too hyped up right now, hoping that's true, but we'll find out.
Well, I do feel like it's because didn't Yakuza 6 come out last year?
Yeah, and they expected that Yakuza 6 was going to fail. They honestly thought it was going to do fine in Japan and bad over here. And it did not. It did very well over here.
See, I feel like with it coming out last year and them having to, and his Kiryu story being over supposedly, I feel like it's got to be some kind of remake, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
This quick.
Well,
I
and
don't
then,
think a year later they're gonna say we have a whole new
yeah, I
character
agree.
and story and
Well, we've
everything
already
combined.
met the new character.
Oh,
You
okay.
meet the new character in a trailer that plays in the menu of 6. After you beat the game, you unlock that trailer.
That's awesome.
But we don't know that much about him, right? So I think it'd be
Yeah.
really smart for Judgment this year, next year Yakuza 7, and one of like maybe remake 3, Yakuza Kiwami 3, you know? Then the year after that have this new offshoot and a Judgment 2.
Don't talk about Judgment 2 because don't get my hope. My hopes are already up.
I will say too, not only is it connected, there are moments where I'll be walking through the streets and somebody will go, "Man, it's so weird that Ono Michio caught on the way that he did. I can't believe there's Ono Michio stuff in Japan now, or in Tokyo now." And I'm like, "Yeah," because
I
like
don't know what that means.
this stuff. That's okay. You will, because I guarantee you, if they're gonna drop lines like that, he's showing up at some point. But man, it's really good so far. I think when I got introduced to the tailing mechanic, I was like, "This is my least favorite mechanic in video games," but it's actually well
Yeah.
done here. Like it's not bad.
So that we'll talk about a little bit more, but that is one of the big complaints I saw in the reviews was that tailing was stupid and lame.
I'm sure.
And I hate tailing mechanics
Yes,
like you.
absolutely.
But
I go back to Assassin's Creed 3 where you had to spy on George Washington, but you couldn't be too far away from him to hear him, so you had to be in the bale of
yeah.
hay right next to him, and he could randomly just go, "What?"
See, and to me, I feel like I'm not gonna say it's great, but
Right.
it's inoffensive. It's just kind of there. It makes sense thematically because you're a detective.
Yes.
So I don't have a problem with it.
You're a detective in a country where laws of how you acquire information are not at all relevant to the case. Where,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to have a warrant to get information. People just have to be willing to share it with you.
Huh. Yeah, I already knew that, Trey. I wonder how I knew that.
It's almost like the game teaches you about Japan's legal system.
But we can move on from me because I could just do a judgment podcast.
Yeah, I could
I
too,
could
honestly.
just
It's
talk
really
about
good.
Judgment. All I want to do is play it.
I did see that rumor, Artaka. Until we get some more information, there's not really much more to say about it. But I would love for FromSoft to make a new Armored Core game. That would be great. Been too many years since the old.
Not gonna happen. They moved on.
Anything else in your week then, or was it mostly just Judgment?
Everything else, like I said, it was just sort of daily. Like I played some. I played a little bit of art. Next week, I will probably be able to talk about Crash Team Racing.
Yeah.
Because Cordy wants to play that as well, so I'm gonna buy that.
Makes sense.
But from here, for probably the next month, it's just gonna be a lot of Judgment talk for me.
That's fair. The way that I play these games is always I'll do 4 or 5 hours straight, it feels like, of story. And then after that, it's just the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to touch the story at all. I'm just going to do side quests, run around, do stuff.
See, I hit that point where I understood the friend mechanics better. And so all I've been doing for the past like 3 hours, 4 hours, it's just doing friend stuff.
I'll put it to you this way. In 5, there's a mechanic where one of the characters goes up into the mountains to try and hide out for a little while. And they can hunt wild game while they're up there. I spent 2.5 weeks just hunting wild game as that character. I killed so many bears. It's great.
That's awesome. It's just packed full of stuff to do, and it's
Yeah.
all different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
all
really good.
unique.
I'm looking forward to. I don't know if we'll have it yet. I haven't gotten any. We have a couple of reviews to talk about later. I haven't gotten any specifics, but I wonder if there's going to be more than one character to play.
I don't think so.
You're probably right. We probably won't.
I think this is his story.
He's a good character so far, so I don't mind
I could
it so
see
much.
you playing. I see you playing as Kaito if Yagami got like kid.
Yeah, maybe for like one more mission or like one special mission or something. Play as him.
Yeah,
It is interesting too that Yagami doesn't fight like the Yakuza do. He fights more like Akiyama, who was just a civilian, in the form of moving around a lot more instead of like all the Yakuza in the series for the most part are just heavy brawlers, you know?
yeah.
Whereas he's a lot more about movements, about getting around and stuff like that.
Oh, I know how the Yakuza fight. I know all about how they fight.
Artaka, I can't look at any Discord links while we're doing the podcast because I have to use Discord for the podcast. But I will look into that afterwards for that article you found. So for my week, I played Judgment. We've already talked about it. Not really much more to say there. I like it a lot.
Perfect.
Played some Mahjong for a while in there too. I'm a
Too
sucker.
scared to touch it.
I'm a sucker for mini games in those games, man. Especially because in this one, like in 0, they give you money, which you use to buy upgrades, right? In 6, you can. I don't think they actually give you anything in 6, but in Judgment, they give you points that can be used, the skill points that can be used to upgrade your abilities. So, you know.
What?
Well, like if you get a high score in Kamuro of the Dead, you get skill points.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, like, I'm gonna play Kamuro of the Dead for a while, you know.
You gotta let go. You gotta let the arcades be in between.
No, if
You're
I
not
see a
near-
Club
you're
Sega, I'm
not
gonna
nearly
play
far
Puyo
enough
Puyo
in.
Tetris. I beat 7 CPUs in a row. I almost was undefeated, but the 8th came in and smoked me. It is kind of a shame that Yagami doesn't have any lines when he wins a match in Puyo Puyo Tetris. Because Kiryu will be like, "Wah!" It's like, yeah, Kiryu. So maybe he'll open up more. We'll see. I played the Monster Hunter World Iceborne beta.
I forgot all about that.
So did a stream for it, played around with it, played with all the weapons, hunted the new monsters, beat them all. Tigrex is great in World. Tigrex is really good, and the new monster Bonbaro, sick. All of the weapons have a new combo to them, includes the slinger. The slinger itself is really cool. The new clutch claw is really sick. Being able to be like mid combo with the hunting daggers, hunting blades, you know, just going for it, everything going great. Using the new ability to just dive over the way. and then being able to just clutch claw onto its face and attack it is amazing. So, it's a really good game. Really excited for the full release.
So, you think it's gonna add enough stuff?
I'll put it to you this way: if they had just added what they had in the beta, I would buy it.
Okay.
The areas look really good. There was a moment where I was fighting Tigrex, and he hit. How's it going? He hit the ice that I was on top of, and it cracked. And I was like, "Oh no, oh no," because we were like good ways up in the like mountain on this ice flow, and Tigrex jumped away, but he had stunned me, and so the ice fell away, and we fell, or I fell all the way down into this pit at the bottom of this mountain, and had to climb back up. It was a really good beta. I'm very excited for the full game. Cannot wait to see more. I really like that. Really like that new greatsword combo that lets me fire the slinger so they don't move and go straight into the fully charged greatsword swing. Really good.
So they added new moves to the already existing weapons.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. I don't know why the mixer chat is not coming up on screen. I'm sorry. Mixer peeps. But hello, how are you doing? Yeah, it's really good, man. I played around mainly with the insect glaive, great sword, sword and shield, hunting blades, and the words. Oh, now it comes up. I don't know why it wouldn't come up before. Hunting horn, and man, the hunting horn is a move where you slam it down and spin it, and as it spins, it's hitting over and over and over again.
That's awesome.
It's pretty sick. From there, I played and beat Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
How many hours do you think?
16.
Okay.
But I also went for 100% map exploration, and I still have
16 with everything.
I still have 2 bosses unbeaten.
Oh, okay.
It is very much a new old school Castlevania. So if you like Symphony of the Night, you will like this.
Yes, everybody knows I love Symphony of the Night, one of the best games ever.
Yes. I did see some people claiming that it didn't innovate enough and that they should have added more. That is not what this was ever sold as being. From the word go, from as soon as they asked people for money to kickstart it, it was going to be a new old school Castlevania game.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. And I think it excels at that. I think it's really good at that. It has some flaws. Most notably, I ran into 2 blue screens.
Oh, nice.
And there was some really bad clipping at times. At one point, one of the NPC's eyes didn't load in.
Oh, that's fine. You need those.
So she just had a dark void where her eyes should be. However, they've patched it quite a bit. They've got it working just the way it needs to, and it's really fun. It also is really replayable. Like, I'm already looking forward. Once I go back, I want to level a little bit more and upgrade my weapon a bit more before I go take on the 2 last bosses I have that are the post-game super bosses. But every weapon has an upgrade like tier that you can continually upgrade them to until you get to the final version. There's hidden moves all around the world that you find by finding these dressers full of books and reading them, and that teaches you the move. Every weapon type has its own moves. All those moves can be mastered by using them more. You gain shards from defeating enemies that give you different abilities, so every run's already different depending on RNG as to which shards you get. Those abilities level up as you either upgrade them or get more of the same shard, either making the ability go further, making it do more damage, making it bigger, making it cost less mana. There's a lot in this game that is going to differentiate every single run that you do.
It's awesome.
Almost in the way of like a Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy, almost like that level for the Game Boy Advance. Of every single run will be different. It's not hard most of the time. The combat is very much old school Castlevania, and if you've played those, you're gonna get the combat down in this. It's attack. You have a really good backstep, or you can just jump out of the way. I didn't backstep that often, but I was using a greatsword for the entire run. My next run, I'm probably gonna use a whip. But
Yeah.
I really, really like that game. I think it's super worth it, and we get a bunch of DLC coming for completely free. That's gonna make things even more exciting, including multiple new playable characters. Also, the story was really good. Like the new characters that were introduced and the places the story went were actually really good. There is a moment that is like, you figure this out yourself. Figure this out. That I think is gonna be ruined for people that like look it up. But once you figure it out yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, why did I not see that sooner? It's real good. I like it a lot. You know what I don't like a lot?
What's that?
Kamen Rider Wizard.
Is this the same one that you hated for?
Yeah. So last week I complained about Kamen Rider Wizard and about how much I wasn't really liking it. So I decided last week that I was going to drop it, and then I reached out to a buddy of mine and I was like, hey, I'm going to drop it. What do you think? And he said, well, try watching every other episode. Because they do enough flashbacks and they do enough, like, nothing happening in the first half of the 2-episode style for you to be able to figure out what's going on. So I did that for 6 more episodes. And then I sat down to watch another episode and I was like, man, I can't continue. These characters are so bad. So I watched the first episode of Kamen Rider Gaim, which is the series that came after Wizard.
So you didn't finish Wizard.
I'm gonna go back at some point.
Uh-huh.
But I watched the first episode of Gaim, and I'm now on episode 9 of Gaim.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're gonna go back and watch Wizard, huh?
I will at some point. How's it going, Will? Man, it's just like, I look at the characters before, I look at the main character of Double. I look at the main character of O's. I look at the main character of Forze. I could sit here and give you an entire 10-minute long YouTube video essayist style about each and every one of those characters, right? You asked me to tell you about the character from Wizard? You asked me to tell you about Hataru? He wants to be hope for people. And he likes plain sugar donuts. But I'm 22 episodes in. And I don't know anything about him.
How many episodes are there?
53! It's longer than every other Kamen Rider series. I've been told that if I skip to the end, that if I skip to the last 5 episodes, it gets good then.
Yeah, as you know that the end is near.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. Honestly, I'm really thinking about it. Because I was warned by so many people. Artakis pointed out in the chat. He warned me. Yazi and Amuro NT1 on Twitter warned me. Don't watch Wizard. It's not worth it. And I was like, but I want to see them all, Well, I publicly told the people on Twitter today that I'm sorry I did not take their advice. And you know what they told me?
What's that?
They said, listen to us on this one, though. Don't watch Ghost. So when I get to Ghost, guess what I'm doing? I'm skipping Ghost.
No,
I am.
Come on.
I'll watch a supercut on YouTube and I'll skip it.
You don't know. Come on. It can be better than Wizard. 53
episodes, Nathan, is 50. 49 is normally the average for a lot of Gundam series. But for Kamen Rider, W is like 46, I think, 45 or 46, and O's is 49, I think. So it's really weird to have one that's like above 50 and for it to be the one that nobody likes. Seems weird. Dopey's pretty good. At least you can make fun of Ghost. Maybe I'll watch the first episode just so I can make fun of it.
Well, I mean, you gotta at least watch half the series. Come on.
I'm there with Wizard, so I can at least make fun of Wizard. Oh, man. I'll put it to you this way. On episode 18 is when they decided that one of the main 4 characters should get an episode about him. Do you know what I learned about in that episode about him 18 episodes into this show?
He likes chocolate sprinkled donuts.
I want to be dependable. Yeah, I figured that out in episode 3 when he said wanted to be helpful. All you did was change. Anyway.
Let me guess the whole episode was about that.
Yeah. Something we already knew. Yeah, and then as our talking points out, the power scaling so weird. So at one point, Wataru gets Wizard, the main character, gets this power up that lets him summon 4 of himself, right? Like 3 more of himself, all in different forms that he has. And they all get to do their super move, and it's super cool, right? It looks great. Like he's doing it, and he's like, fire, dragon, and the belt goes, freeze. And it's like, yeah, we're getting into it. And all 4 dragons are there, and he does the super move for all of them, and it wipes out the monster, like the big bad of the episode's got nothing on it, right? Just wipes him out. The very next episode, a bunch of regular enemies show up, and he uses that ability on them, and he can't beat regular enemies with it. Even though he just beat the big boss of the last episode with it. Because he had to not beat them so that the gate could run away. However, in Gaim, their power is based on fruit. And that sounds dumb, right? To the point where when they summon when the main character uses his lock seed to summon his fruit, a giant orange appears in the sky above him. And the belt goes bum 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 bum, and the orange comes down and lands on his head and opens up and forms into samurai armor.
Huh.
And then it goes orange arms. And then the main character fights. And early on, like, he doesn't know what he's doing, so he's making mistakes, and it's like, yeah, this is what I want, an actual character. Gaim's really good so far, guys. If you're curious about how Gaim is, I like it a lot. But we'll move on from me ranting about Wizard now. We have some reviews to talk about for Judgment. Andrew, have you looked up the Open Critic?
I did at some point.
Okay, would you like to guess what it is currently at?
82.
90.
No, it's not.
Yep.
No, it's not.
No, it's at a 90% recommended. I just had to do that to you. It's at an 82.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, man, it must have got a lot of positive reviews out of nowhere.
Oh, man. So, people really seem to like it for the most part. People saying that it's linked to Yakuza's legacy, but it provides a great reason to explore Kamurocho on its own. Wanted to try something different with Judgment. Some people a little upset that Kiryu's not here, but, Kiryu's not going to be back anymore, really, so we got to get used to it. Yeah, but most people seem to be really excited on it. I was trying to find some bad reviews. We could talk about them, but I couldn't really find that many.
Yeah, I wasn't able to really find any like super negative. It was either good or like
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the lowest score I found was a 3.5 out of 5. which is basically just the combat minigames the best they've ever been. Narrative is interesting overall, but can feel misguided and aimless at certain points.
Let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get down to brass tacks. Games Radar 3 stars, so that's a 60.
Yep, that's the lowest score so far. What'd they say?
Despite the fantastic story, Judgment stops short of being a must-play thanks to its shallow and unfulfilling crime-solving gameplay.
I like the.
Yeah, I'm solving crimes.
There's a cat in every single one of those, where you're having to move the camera around to find the investigative. There's a cat in those.
Yeah, I can't find the cats. I need to find the cats.
You gotta find the cats.
So I found the one I was supposed to be looking for, the first one.
Yeah.
But it was in an alleyway during a story mission. So when I walked into the alleyway, it kicked off. Like I saw it and I was like, "Oh, sweet!" And so as I run in there, I see it. Well, then the cutscene starts.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, the cat.
Gotta find that cat.
The cat.
But yeah, it seems like people are pretty supportive of Judgment, which is cool. I'm glad people like it. Now the one that's gonna take a bit, I'm sure. How do you feel about loot boxes, Andrew?
I think that they are a great mechanic used to incite excitement in the player.
Yeah. Yeah. So EA went before the European Parliament.
This was their defense.
Yeah. And was asked if they thought their loot boxes were ethical. Their response was, "We don't call them loot boxes." And literally the man says, "That's not the question I asked." However, I do want to, I'm going to link it in the description. I'm going to plug it right now. Young Yeah, I don't know if anybody in the chat watches his videos. He is a news channel for gaming on YouTube. Put out a very good video about this where he showed proof that EA has over the last 2 years, as recent as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, called them loot boxes.
How dare you, first off?
So they bald-faced lied to the European Parliament.
They don't call them that anymore.
Oh, sure, yeah.
As of today, we quit calling them that.
So the response was that they call them surprise mechanics.
Yeah.
Then went on to explain why they are okay because they are a surprise, like a Kinder Egg.
Yeah.
You know, the Kinder Egg where you buy a piece of candy, specifically a chocolate egg, and you break it open and get the toy out of the inside in the capsule that's in there, and then you get to eat the chocolate, which is the thing you bought.
Yeah.
And then you just also have a toy on the side.
Also, just to clarify, Kinder Eggs are illegal in the United States.
Yes, they are.
Make loot boxes illegal in the United States based on that logic.
Man, there's a lot about that conversation that makes me go, the lack of self-awareness here.
So, you know what? I am down with surprise mechanics. I'm okay with it. Okay.
It's called random loot.
Yeah. So since they are surprise mechanics, why don't we quit charging money to get more surprises?
Yeah.
It's just a surprise mechanic. So why do we need to pay money to get more?
So to answer Artaka, the person who asked her this question, the representative for EA, looked confused when she answered. They then went on to ask if they thought these surprise mechanics, he said loot boxes, or as you call them, surprise mechanics, he outright says that, are ethical. And at first she tries to backpedal and say it's not about them being ethical, realizes that answer is not going to fly, and then says they're super ethical because...
They're quite ethical.
Yes, quite ethical. Because They've only been outlawed in 2 countries.
Yeah.
That was her argument. They're ethical because they've only been outlawed in 2 countries. So then the man asks her, so if they are outlawed so you're leaving it up to the country to decide. Which is, by the way, the last thing you want the country that is asking you this question to ask.
Yeah.
And if the country decides they're not ethical, they're not ethical. And she says, well, until the country decides, they're not unethical.
Ma'am, I think we've solved the case here. We do declare them unethical.
She then goes on.
So we're banning them.
She then goes on to explain to this man that I don't know how much you know about Belgium and about the Ukraine, but they both look at this very differently, and their laws are very different as to how they word it and to how they don't want surprise mechanics. And his response is, yes, I know the laws of our neighbor Belgium quite well. So
EA tried to play Are You Stupid?
Yeah, and they got called out on it.
Yeah, you don't know? Come on, you don't know about the laws, dummy.
We do. I fully expect the European Union to ban loot boxes soon.
And I want to go back. That's what I want somebody to ask reps from EA. I want somebody to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go along with what you said. They are surprise mechanics. So let's not charge money for them because that's what makes them gambling.
Yes, absolutely.
So
again, that Yang Ya video, he said, no, officer, I didn't rob that store. It was a surprise withdrawal. No, officer, I didn't kill that guy. It was a surprise funeral.
Yeah.
It's like it does in any other situation. How did they think it was a good idea? Just own it.
You know, there was a room of like 15 to 20 people that had to discuss this. And
she came in with notes. She looked worried when she was saying them. Because her job, I'm sure, was on the line. But at one point, she tries to compare it to the Kinder Eggs because Kinder Eggs aren't gambling. It's just getting a fun surprise. And it's, but when I buy a Kinder Egg, which I don't because they're illegal in this country, but let's just say, for instance, that I did, right? Or I'll give you another one. You remember the Hershey's golden eggs that they did for Easter like 10 years ago? Where there was a bunny, and inside the bunny was a golden egg, and inside that golden egg was a bunch more candy? When I buy that bunny to get that golden egg inside, I'm not expecting, when I pop that golden egg open, to have lights and colors and flashiness and then a cool mechanic that makes a sound to upgrade something that I can use while playing a video game. I'm expecting to open that egg and get candy that I can eat. And that's where it breaks for me, is going, well, it's not gambling, it's surprise mechanics. Then why does it look like gambling?
Yeah. Why does it affect the human brain the same way that gambling does?
Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's the fact that you're maliciously doing this.
Why did you include, and everyone else, have psychologists and sociologists on your payroll?
Yep.
Asking them questions about the loot boxes.
This is why every time when I'm asked, well, how do you think about all the loot box restrictions? We did this to ourselves as a gaming industry. Nobody stopped and went, that's a really bad idea.
Like, the problem is there are the whales.
Yeah.
And they spend all the money on the loot boxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe only let's just I'm lowballing it, but let's say you have 100 people play the game.
Yeah.
No, only 5 of them pay money. 3 of the ones that pay money spend over $1,000.
Yep, they've paid for the game.
Yeah.
Shut them down. Shut loot boxes down. I'm fine with it. Get rid of them. Give me loot in games again that I don't have to pay for.
I've put probably 500 hours into UFC 3.
Yeah.
EA game. It's a fun game. I play the Ultimate Team mode.
Yeah.
You get card packs. There are fighters that I want to play as that I literally cannot play as because I have not unlocked them via a surprise mechanic.
Yes.
500 hours.
So, let me ask you this question. We'll use Overwatch for example, right? What if instead at the end of every Overwatch match you just got gold based on your performance in the match? And then you could buy skins with that gold.
No.
You know, just what if for instance, you know, when they have big events and they introduce new skins, they just gave everybody 1,000 gold. That's not enough to buy any of the good skins. But then you just play some matches. And you get your skin by hard work and dedication.
Are you saying you just gotta play the game and you can unlock stuff?
Yeah.
But there's no surprise.
It used to be that way.
I don't want to get what I want. I want to get what I didn't know I needed.
To quote Blizzard, you think you want this, but you don't. So yeah, that's a thing. It's so stupid, man. Like, what kind of defense is that? What are you doing? I would almost rather they had somebody like arms out akimbo just giving a speech about how great loot boxes are for the economy than to have somebody go, no, they're actually, we don't call them loot, we call them surprise mechanics. A surprise for you when everybody stops buying your games. See who's surprised then, EA. Do you have any other thoughts about this, Andrew, or should we just move on?
Move on.
Okay. So, it is stupid. You know what else is stupid? Netflix's Evangelion adaptation.
No, come on now.
So, first off, again, I want to go on record saying that I do not like Evangelion that much. I want to make sure that everybody understands that I am not a fan of this show, really, and that the amount of arguments and people that have blocked me on Twitter already over the show is quite high. But I think this is bad. And I don't even like the show that much.
Yeah.
So, what they did, they redid the script, they retranslated the script, they redubbed the script. Now you go, that's fine, right? Whatever, they redid the script to make it more like the original, right? Well, see, there's a moment in Evangelion where a guy tells another guy that he loves him. And it's a really profound moment for both those characters because the one guy has never been told that anybody loves him, you know? And it very much changes the course of that show with that information. Well, that line is now changed to, I like you. And the follow-up to that line, instead of being, nobody's ever told me they loved me before, I don't know how to feel about this. It's nobody's ever told me they liked me before. He told me that I deserved his grace. So that's pretty bad, right?
That's pretty garbage.
And again, this is not just Netflix. This is the translation company that translated the show, according to be closer to the original sub. They also took away fan favorite lines, like all the missiles were direct hits, and it's now we hit with every missile. A bunch of the performances are, and no joke, and I quote, "The angel is attacking. We need to be careful." When the original was, "The angel's coming, get ready, everybody!" And then, the biggest crime of all, The ending theme for every episode of the original Evangelion in the sub and the dub was a unique version of Fly Me to the Moon for every episode. Every single episode had its own unique version of Fly Me to the Moon that was done to represent what happened in the episode, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't get Fly Me to the Moon.
Hmm.
Netflix apparently couldn't afford the rights to Fly Me to the Moon. So the song is so important to the story that there are episodes where it plays in the middle of the episode. Guess what plays now instead?
Oh no.
Nothing. There's just no music.
What?
Like, at what point? I'm not even a fan of Evangelion. At what point do you go, man, people really want to see this show on Netflix? Let's buy the rights to put it on Netflix. And then, no, that ending theme that's so important to the show is too expensive for us. We can't afford it.
Can't afford it.
But they dropped $10 million to keep the Breakfast Club for one more month.
Did they really?
Yes. And they can't. And as Artaka put it in the chat, have somebody cover the song. If you can't afford the original, pay for a cover that's legally distinct. Just make some changes. Songs get re-put out all the time. Oh my gosh. It's such a terrible version of that show. And again, I don't know how many times I have to say it. I don't even like Evangelion.
Yeah.
And I can't recommend that version to anybody. And for anybody in the chat that's like, why does Trey hate Evangelion so much? It's the fact that people go, man, and I saw it already. Before Evangelion, mecha anime was all the same. After Evangelion came out, mecha anime finally got good. That's why I hate it.
You know, we both know somebody
Who said that?
who said that?
Also, the line was used this week on YouTube by an anime YouTuber. Evangelion is the Star Wars of Japan. No, Gundam is the Star Wars of Japan. But sure, okay, let's continue.
No.
So, again, my own biases aside, this is a terrible version of that show. You are actually better off pirating that show than you are watching it on Netflix. I cannot believe that I can sit here and say that, but it's 100% true.
That's just Netflix. You would think a company as big as Netflix would have nothing but hits.
Yeah.
But they produce so much content and they have their fingers in so many pies that they have a lot of stinkers.
Yep, a whole lot.
Especially when it comes to their anime.
Just no.
Yeah.
It's like they really just need to get one person to put over the anime part of Netflix.
Yeah.
Who can go, oh
Just
man,
try.
it's a bad idea. I mean, hey, Netflix, hire me to be over your anime division. We'll get you some good anime first off, and we'll make it right.
Chainsaw Man.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I need to read it.
Netflix exclusive.
Well, I really dislike when like Little Witch Academia was a Netflix exclusive, and it bombed because of it.
Was it good?
It was okay. The big problem is that as much as people say they want to binge shows and they want to watch them all at once, anime is one of those things that people like to watch week to week. And
Nope.
so I agree with you. I'm watching Kamen Rider binging it, right? But when they drop the entire show at once, months after everything else has started, because they wait until those shows are almost done to dump it all, people would just went back, you know? Really, there was an Armored Core anime in the works? It's a shame that it never happened then.
Artaka is on this Armored Core thing.
Yeah, he wants you to play it.
Let it go. It's dead.
It's not dead yet. It could come back.
Let it die peacefully.
You know what else might be coming back? Ape Escape. There's some rumors, currently still just rumors, but rumors that Ape Escape is going to be coming back. I'd play it.
I only played a demo for Ape Escape and a demo for Ape Escape 2, and I always wanted to buy those games.
They're ridiculous. They're really good. I like them a lot. We need to stream them at some point. But again, just rumors right now. But if true, hype. You know what else is pretty hype? Watchdog Legions.
I can't believe you're gonna say Watch Dogs is hype.
I know,
This is a
but
whole new world.
get
This is a
ready
whole
for
new world
this.
for me.
20 versions of the script. And you may say, what does this mean, right? What does this mean for me, the player, playing this game? Because you can recruit anyone, cutscenes change. So they had to rewrite the script 20 different times with every permutation in mind so that cutscenes would make sense. Also, if you recruit two people that have the same voice actor, the game, the built-in AI that runs the people will modulate one of the voices higher or lower.
Wow.
So they don't have the same voice. Yes. What? Yes, I am in.
That's super awesome.
I want to be able to
Put a lot of
have.
tech behind it.
They have. I want to be able to have my whole squad of like grannies running around,
G Squad.
and like all the cutscenes are about them. You know, I am down for that. That's crazy to me. Speaking of new stuff, Final Fantasy VII Remake will have some new materia. They will also be removing some of the old materia. I don't know which ones yet, and we don't know what new ones yet, but I'm excited. New summons would be really cool, you know?
I have no idea about anything Final Fantasy VII.
Just play the original. We're playing it right now. Not right now, but I'm playing it right now on the stream. You guys see it? But we're playing it in the stream rotation.
Why don't you just not play it at all?
I like that game a lot. Thanks. Thanks for chipping in, even though nobody asked
Hey
for you.
Alexa, I like that game a lot.
Following that, do you remember Mario Royale? We might have talked about this the week that you were not able to make it. So Mario Royale was an online game, browser based, that let you oh, I'm sorry. Artaka just said my dad really likes Seven. It reminded me how old I am. Mario Royale was a multiplayer-based browser game where you could run forward along with thousands of other people, and you had to try and get to the goal. And along the way, you could eliminate each other. It was like playing single-player Mario, except with a bunch of other people also playing single-player Mario at the same time in the same level with you.
What is what?
It was chaotic. It was crazy. I never played it myself, but I watched a couple different people play it. It seemed fun, but I knew it was going to get taken down because it was just Mario. So it did. Within 3 days of being taken down, it came back up as DMCA Royale, with all the assets slightly changed so they weren't the same. The main character, now known as Copyright, and his brother, or Infringo, and his brother, Copyright Infringo. And it still plays the same way.
I gotta look this up.
So, yeah, DMCA Royale, if you want to play some multiplayer online Mario. I just thought it was really funny that they were like, yeah, we're prepared for it to be taken down. We have alternate skins already ready for everything.
I do not know what happened to Discord, but like,
Yeah, it's lagging really bad.
Robotic.
It's lagging really bad. So from there, we have a new Hitman 2 level coming.
Let me
Leave.
leave and come back.
That'll
Right
work.
back.
That'll work. Connect. Breeze. It's the only good thing about Wizard, to be honest with you. That and the costumes designs. I'm running out of air. I'm almost out of air. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm trying not to show it, but running low. Oxygen levels low. Body depleting. Yes, it's still Hitman 2, not Hitman 2, the old Hitman 2, Hitman 2 2018. It's a good game. You should play it. It's one of the best Hitman games ever made. I'm alone on the podcast. It's just me, but I got my Kamen Rider W memory. Yeah, so how's it going, everybody? Waiting for Andrew to come back. Kamen Rider Double's really good. Engine, and then you put them in the belt, and you open it up, and pretty cool. It's pretty hype. I accidentally hit that time. I wasn't trying to. I have the belt over here. I can show it off. While we wait for Andrew to get back. Oh no! No! I spilled water! Oh no! Oh, Andrew's
I'm
back.
back.
Everything's fine. I'm just gonna show this off real quick. Because I told the people I would.
You also spilled water.
I did. I'll clean it up later. So yeah, that's cool.
So which Kamen Rider is that from?
Double! Kamen Rider W. It's this guy. Double.
His name is Double?
Yeah, because it's two people in one. One's body and one's mind.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So yeah,
Now he's the Kamen Rider.
Yeah, you need to, actually Double's my favorite so far, so you should watch it. Really good. Hitman 2 has a new location coming.
Dude, I was hyped, and then I realized I don't think I have the season pass.
So if you don't have the season pass, I think it's like $5.
No, the season pass is $40.
No, I mean for the level.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
It's set in New York.
That's not an interesting location.
In a bank.
Oh, did someone say bank?
And they show specifically a bunch of security and then a clock tower like room at the top of the bank. And a lady
also
looking out over the big bank area. And I was like, I'm gonna push her through that window.
There's also, I'm not going to spoil it, but have you heard about your target in this mission?
I'm not, no.
Okay, never mind. I had something spoiled for me that I think, if it's true, could make this possibly the best Hitman level of all time.
Okay. I'm excited. I love Hitman 2. I've been looking for an excuse to stream more of it, so this level's just what I need.
Just what I needed.
And then our last big news topic is SGDQ is going on right now.
Yeah. I watched some of this at work.
So I wanted to hit, we always talk about the schedule, like the big games they have. Some of these have already been completed. I have not watched any of them yet, but I always catch up to the VODs. So Spyro Reignited Trilogy is at SGDQ, which is hype. I'm excited for that. Nightmare in Dreamland is at SGDQ. Minish Cap is at SGDQ. I saw some other ones that really stood out to me that aren't normally there. For anybody who doesn't know, SGDQ is Summer games done quick. I almost said super games done quick, which is like AGDQ except done in the summertime.
Yep, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, Time Spinner. So Time Spinner came out last year. It's a Castlevania like with weapons that level up as you use them and familiars and stuff that you can summon. 28 minutes is what they say they're going to beat it in. Very excited to see that. Very excited to see that. That was cool. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, the other, like the 8-bit version. Going to be running that. Symphony of the Night, of course, is going to get a run as it always does. Titanfall 2's campaign is getting a run. That's hype. Borderlands 2 co-op is getting a run. That's cool. There was a couple others that I saw too that I wanted to point out. They're going to be doing Ape Escape this year. It's pretty nifty. Randomizer for Legend of Zelda again, the original. And then a Sunshine Race. There'll be some Dive Kick story mode. I'm just trying to point out the things that aren't normally there for anybody who's like, oh, why is he talking about those specific games? There's a lot of games that get played every time. There's going to be a hard mode co-op Soviet campaign in Red Alert 3 going on. Like, sure, okay, that sounds cool. And then there was one more. I'm trying to find it. Oh, yeah, Kirby Master's going to be doing Fire Emblem Fates. So, hey, we'll see how that goes. But other than that, a lot of the same stuff as always. Mega Man block, Castlevania block, Dark Souls. Really surprised to see no Sekiro, but it may have just come out too soon, But still, some good looking stuff. Excited to see what we get there. That's all the news that I had, guys. We're all newsed out. Nothing really left to talk about. It was a very light news week. I think next week we might try and do early GOTY discussions like we do every year. We'll see. Got to make sure schedules line up. And then while we wait for Andrew to come back, I'll go ahead and do the schedule for this week. This week is the launch of Shadowbringers, which means this week we're going to be doing things a little bit differently from normal. Going to be a lot of 14 videos going up this week. We're going to get all the rest of those out before Shadowbringers for the Stormblood information. Tomorrow's stream will be a farewell to Stormblood, where we will go through a bunch of the Stormblood areas, talk about the Stormblood story, all that fun stuff there. And then Friday, 4 a.m., we're going to start up a stream, and we're going to stream as long as we can. I got a bunch of water, I got a bunch of juice, I got a bunch of apple chips and stuff like that. I'm going to do my best to just stream for as close to 24 hours as we can Friday, with just Shadowbringers all day long. And then we'll probably stream some more of it Saturday as well, if I can. But we're going to have a good time there. I'm fully expecting that at some point we're going to get caught by the server. We're not going to be able to go any further. And so then we're going to go back and do other stuff in the game just to play around with it and show it off, But I'm excited. I'm hyped. I hope all of you are as well. The week after, of course, we'll go back to regular streaming with Tuesday streams of Final Fantasy VII, Thursday streams of Super Robot Wars T, Friday streams of Pokemon Black 2, and a random Saturday stream every now and then when we can. And, of course, the podcast on Mondays. The last week of July, or maybe second last week of July, I will have to miss another podcast. I have work that night. We have an event going on at work, and I have to be there because I'm teaching a class with that event. And so that event runs all week, every day at like 6 p.m. And, hey, podcast at 7. So you'll have an Andrew Pat podcast that week. But other than that, I should be here, and we should be doing regular streams as usual. Maybe by the time we beat Super Robot Wars T, that new DLC, I forgot to talk about the DLC. There's DLC coming for Super Robot Wars T. It's 15 additional scenarios with guest characters from X and V. So maybe by the time, and with more story. So maybe by the time we beat T, that DLC will be live. If not, we may take a break from T, but then we'll come back to it to do that DLC. And a lot of stuff coming up.
Sorry about that. I had a bit of an emergency.
No, you're good. I was just filling everybody in on the schedule.
I was gonna say for SGDQ.
Yeah.
I watched some at work today.
Yeah.
I watched some Prey. Dude, that's it's awesome to see what they can do.
I'm sure. That's the best part about it, seeing them just tear a game to pieces.
Especially if you have a game that you like a lot. And you're like, okay, all right, this game took me like 20 hours. Okay, let's see how they beat it in an hour and 15 minutes.
And then you want to try and like figure out how to do it yourself, some of those moves, so you wind up going back to that game you really like and playing it some more.
No. I learned the hard way that I'll never be that good.
Anything else you can think of you wanted to hit on or talk about?
No.
Well, I hope all of you are excited for the 24-hour stream if it winds up being that long.
Well, hold on, 24-hour stream.
Yeah, Friday for Shadowbringers launch, starting at 4 a.m.
yeah.
and I'm going as long as I can. Hop in and join us. We'll be doing story cutscenes. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff. Thanks, King. Appreciate that. We'll be doing story cutscenes. We'll be doing leveling. We'll be playing around with Gunbreaker and Dancer, all the new job skills. We're gonna be having a good time. But something else too that I needed to bring up. I can't think of what it is. What it is. Regardless, if you guys have any kind of videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below or in the chat, I have planned for after buying Monster Hunter this week. Nice, King.
Now we're talking.
What the hell? I'd do some hunts there. I have planned for after Shadowbringers doing a series on this is how you tank, this is how you heal, this is how you DPS. Because I've had a bunch of people asking me to do that. We're going to keep doing training times starting back up again next week. We're going to talk about more how to play fighting games, just as we have been with those. We're going to have a video on glamour plates in 14 because people have been asking me how those work. I'm still working on a video on Sekiro. The things I like about Sekiro, the things I dislike about Sekiro. And then, at some point I got to do a video on Kamen Rider Wizard because apparently I'm super upset about it. So,
Personally, it's my favorite Kamen Rider.
I gotta finish. I almost said beat it. I gotta finish it first though, so I can make a video on it. But anyway, was there anything else you had, Andrew? Any plugs?
No.
Podcast a little bit on the lighter end today, everybody. Sorry.
That's what happens
after
E3.
E3.
After E3.
Yeah, there's just not that much.
We usually do the game of the year so far.
The early goatee
here, so
that'll wait till next week, and hopefully we won't have too much news for next week for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to see more of the dumb stuff that I talk about every day, check out my Twitter. I feel like I've responded to at least 30 tweets today, which is insane. If you want to see more of our videos, playlists are all over the channel. And I don't normally do this, but I will ask. If you have not, please remember to like and subscribe. I hate doing that. It's my least favorite thing to do. But sometimes we gotta do it. Anyway, since I don't have any plugs either, other than, again, that Yang Ya video, you should check it out. He gets really mad about loot boxes, and it's very rare to see him angry on his channel. This is the man that was, interviewed Jason Schreier, and when Jason Schreier called him a hack to his face, he was completely calm about it and just kept going. He's mad about this. It was pretty good to see. But, until next time, I have been Trey.
I'm Andrew.
We've been the Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that life has to offer. Later, everybody.
By judgment.
It's a good game.